Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson dealing with this here article as you can see on the screen. As the days draw near, for Esau to come in and do his thing, against the elect. All right. It says fund them and lose in slow motion. Twitter reason to CIA veterans advice to use Iraqi-Afghan playbook on domestic extremists. All right. Now, basically, if you don't know about these terms or whatnot, it's basically people that are here in America, right? American citizens that they call extremists. All right. Now, again, these are so-called broad terms that they're using to paint a picture, So it says CIA veteran has argued that counterinsurgency tactics similar to those used by the U.S. forces in war zones should be employed, all right? Because why? They're about to, wage war against the elect, all right? Should be employed at home to crack down on domestic extremists, but the idea has received lukewarm reception, all right? Now, we all know that Esau's not going to start cracking down on these other Edomites out here because these are the real terrorists out here, man. These are the ones that stormed the Capitol building or whatnot. You hear about us talking about we don't like it here in America. The Most High going to destroy America, but you don't see us storming no buildings and trying to take none of the government captive or no shit like that, man. All right, these are all Edomites, man. All right, and when you go and try to check on who has all the guns and the bullets and everything like that, these are all the Edomites, man. They're the ones that's armed to the teeth, man. We armed to the teeth, but we armed to the teeth with these scriptures because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, man. All right, we're armed with these scriptures, man. All right, and precepts. We got precept upon precept upon precept, man. That's like magazine clips to keep hitting people with the truth. But what do? They go out and go actually buy guns and bullets and things like that, Says the modest proposal was put forward by Robert Greener, who served as the CIA station chief for Pakistan and Afghanistan in 2001. He was later appointed the CIA Iraq mission manager and then director of the CIA Counterterrorism Center from 04 to 06. And, you have to understand that when they went over there to, the Middle East like that, all right, of course they were trying to get more and more, land grabs and everything like that, more resources. But nevertheless, especially the, when they went in, what do they call it? When they liberated, these are their terms, they liberated, Fallujah, I think it was. When they went in there, I think it took them like maybe 2 weeks or a couple days or something like that. But nevertheless, that's, that was all practice and training, for what they're planning on doing coming over here, going door to door, detaining people, taking away weapons and things like this, and so on and so forth, Like you also see them when they had that VMAT 2 or the FunVax, but yeah, that's what they called it. But nevertheless, they were trying to basically, this here drug would basically make you lose faith, basically, long story short. But nevertheless, why were they preparing those things like that? Why were they actually out there doing those things? All right, because really, you realize since 2001 all the way up until now, the Arabs, the Muslims, they're not our problem. They're not our threat. These motherfuckers, especially for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, more of our people have been killed by these damn Edomites over here than by any of these Arabs over here, man. Same for you Edomites. More Edomites have been killed by the hands of other Edomites, than it has been by these people in the Middle East or whatnot, But nevertheless, this is the narrative that they're painting to, how they say, dehumanize certain people or whatnot. They use these terms. If you ever go back in history and look at the different terms that they would use on people, they were all dehumanizing terms to, because if you take away the human aspect of something, you won't have no problem with killing them. All right. So when you go back in history, they called people like barbarians. All right, Indians, which means savages, you know what I'm saying, or insurgents, terrorists. All right, they will call them anything but humans, But it says Grainer has been making media appearances following the Capitol riot on January 6th, arguing that the clandestine strategies employed in Iraq and Afghanistan should be used to prevent a sustained wave of violent insurgency within our own country, perpetrated by our own countrymen. And really, this is not no big threat that they should be taking this here stance on, because obviously, especially these people like the Proud Boys or whatnot, they posting all their shit on the internet, man. All right, just like us, we post all our shit on the internet, man. We not a so-called secret society because we openly profess what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? We like, yo, man, we know we're here in the belly of the beast in the hands of our enemy. All right, and we're waiting on our Lord and our Savior to come and deliver us up out of this place, man. All right, so that's our whole game plan, man. You know, but nevertheless, when you talk to these damn Edomites, man, they posting up on the internet what they doing and planning and plotting and so on and so forth, to the point now to where with social media, it's not really hard to find these people, man. All right, because they'll find Jake with all kind of extra shit, but then all of a sudden now we got to employ the tactics they use in the Middle East or whatever, whatnot. Why don't you just go on the internet and find these people and go and detain their ass, man? All right. It says, but what they also doing is they gave you that imagery or whatever, whatnot, so people will get behind with the hatred of Donald Trump, get behind all of that. But yeah, we should make all these laws to detain these folks and so on and so forth, so they can write the laws, and then they'll say things about oh, this is who we going after or whatever, whatnot. But look who they're gonna actually start picking up, man. All right. It says in a follow-up interview with NPR, he said that there were lessons to be learned from the experience trying to hunt down Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda terrorists. Although he didn't directly call for drone strikes or enhanced interrogation techniques to become standard operation procedure, many commenters read between the lines, expressing disgust that Greener would suggest that any CIA tactics used abroad would be imported to the United States. In reality, if you was following it, a lot of the different countries brought up war crimes against America for the shit that they was doing. All right, people was talking about how I think it was Iran that put a bounty on, a wanted bounty on Trump's head. They also did the same shit to George Bush, man, because of all the corruptness that he wound up doing. And I believe it was also some of their allies who was just like, nah, they was over there perpetrating in war crimes. But then again, at the end all be all in the United Nations, America has that top veto power, so they're not going to persecute themselves, man. All right. It says, some wondering if the tactics in question involving using said extremists for CIA's own gains. However, several commentators didn't think it would be a good idea, pointing to poor records and keeping track of the so-called moderate rebels after the U.S. armed and trained them elsewhere, right? Again, this is all propaganda, so you have to understand the whole situation that went down with all of that stuff over there, right? First and foremost, they said, oh, there was some terrorists that flew some planes into some buildings over there, whatever, whatnot. They found out who they were because they found their passports in the rubble of all that, the buildings and all, everything else turned to dust, but their passports, right? Then they went and invaded Iraq, which Iraq had nothing to do with where these so-called, where they was telling us these pilots or whatever, whatnot came from. They wasn't from Iraq, all right? And even if you go back and watch all those things after it was all said and done, they was asking Bush and them, well, what did Saddam Hussein, who was the president of Iraq, have to do with 9/11? And he's flat out said nothing. He ain't have nothing to do with it. Then their story switched up to what? Oh, he got weapons of mass destruction. Till this day, they ain't found no weapons of mass destruction over there. But who has real weapons of mass destruction, man? All right, America got nuclear bombs. You seen them pull out of the basically the arms race, the nuclear armament prevention situation. All right, they trying to massively inject this here concoction into people right now, forcing everybody to do all these things, in which they ain't even had enough time to train and vet it all out and everything like that. But nevertheless, these are the people that are using these same words and these same tactics as far as saying, oh, well, they had weapons of mass destruction. What if somebody was to put the same, put the mirror up into their face, show them about the things that they were doing? How many people have you killed over in the Middle East since 2001? How much infrastructure have you been over there bombing or whatever, whatnot? Look at what you're doing over there in Venezuela with Nicolas Maduro and so on and so forth. How many people are you over there terrorizing and oppressing throughout the whole globe, man? All right, America's the #1 state sponsor of terrorism, but these are the same hypocrites that want to be the top policemen and all these things and make these laws up, man. All right, none of those people they found over there and detaining like Guantanamo Bay, did they ever find any real evidence that they was connected to any kind of terrorism or anything like that? They didn't find no plans or no plots or nothing like that and stop anything from happening or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, so the whole time and all that money they spent over there was for nothing. Well, it wasn't for nothing. They had their own agenda. They was over there practicing. It was a practice run. But nevertheless, as far as what they were telling the public, all that was just BS, man. All right? But nevertheless, hey, look at where we are, like 21 years or 20 years later, man. All right, they never found no weapons of mass destruction. They're still over there with their troops over there invading those countries or whatever, whatnot. They got the war crimes and the heinous activity they was over there conducting, but yet and still they wanted to bring these tactics here to America. They falsely accused Saddam Hussein having weapons of mass destruction and people being terrorists, who's not to say that, they're not gonna come over and do the same thing, man? Oh, you don't want to take this here jab? Oh, you're a domestic terrorist because you're a walking time bomb that can spread this. All right. Others simply observed that things tend to get worse when the CIA showed up in a country and pointed out that the U.S. was already standing at the top of a very slippery slope regarding depriving Americans of their rights. Like the scriptures say, basically, he's neither satisfied, neither keepeth at home. Habakkuk, what is that, 2 and 5, I believe it is. We'll get to it, Lord's will. Oh, and another thing that they did, when you go back to the Hillary Clinton situation, right? When Hillary Clinton in the Benghazi situation, she had got taken to court over all those things. That whole situation was because they got caught trying to well, they didn't get caught trying to. They got caught shipping guns into basically, in through Libya and everything like that. From I believe it was the consulate in Benghazi or whatever, whatnot, but through Tripoli and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, just like Eric Holder got caught up into the project, what was it called, Fast and the Furious. This is how you got all these damn cartels that's armed to the teeth with military grade weapons and things like that, man. All right, because hey, if you go back and you understand about the dude who Freeway Ricky Ross, all right, the real Rick Ross, not the rapper, but the real Rick Ross. If you go back and study his story and how he was being played by the damn government, all right, and where cocaine and all this come from, it came from these niggas, gave it to a homeboy or whatever, whatnot, so he can move the drugs or whatever, whatnot, to finance their little dirty wars under the table. So this is all the same thing, man. They using the cartels and the drug money to come in and bring in, to finance black projects and pay off other people and so on and so forth, just like with the creation of ISIS, man. Go back to Hillary Clinton and the Benghazi situation. That's what it was all about. They actually had to go to court for all these things, man. All right, it's all out in the open. It's not a conspiracy. It's documented and on record and everything like that, man. All right. Oh, let me read this. It says, they're willing to go to the most dangerous extremes to shut down opposing political voices. It's truly scary stuff we're witnessing unfold right in front of our eyes. It says, not everyone was opposed to the idea. Prop or not, a shadowy organization that claims to sniff out and expose disinformation campaigns wrote that the people mad at this have no idea what counterinsurgency tactics are. All right. But nevertheless, these are the damn devils that we dealing with, man. All right, he'll come up and make any kind of laws or things that are so-called fit the narrative. Just, again, go back to what they say, that they got the Americans on the back of the, on their back, basically, so they can go and invade the whole Middle East. They was willing to go and pull off the little stunt that they pulled off on September 11th, right? Then they went on the news and just kept brainwashing you, terrorists. Lie told you that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Oh, this was all lies and brainwashing because they still don't have no evidence to this day. 20 years later, bruh. They didn't touch every inch of that damn country and didn't find none of those things. And you didn't have so-called terrorists before all of that over there, but now you apparently did. But they was just trying to get into different areas and stuff like that, man. Just like how they had the so-called you go back to what they had, the Free Syrian Army fighting up against Bashar al-Assad. That was America arming them as well too, which turned out to be turned into ISIS or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden Syria got a terrorist problem, right? And America's like, no, we're not at war with Syria. We're just going to go over there and get the terrorists up out of that area or whatever, whatnot. But America couldn't seem to get rid of all the terrorists, but they could keep hitting all the infrastructure. But the day that Russia brought over that S-300 over there, all of a sudden all the terrorists ain't no problem no more, man. All right? This is the damn tactics of the devil. But real quick, because I quoted this a little earlier, Habakkuk 2 and 5 says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, his philosophies and things and his lies and his media, like I said, September 11th, they kept saying terrorists, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. He's transgressing by his wine. He's lying to you by this here. He getting you drunk and telling you all kind of lies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Bro, you on the whole western side of the hemisphere of the globe, and your ass and everybody business on the eastern side of the globe, man, and everybody, you meddling, and everybody, you trying to stop China from building in the South China Sea, talking about some, they infringing on other people's water. Bruh, it's called the South China Sea, bruh. How the hell are they over there in somebody else's water when it's named after them? Because that's where their territory is. And who the hell are you to go all the way on the other side of the globe to talk about what the fuck they doing, man? Why don't you keep your happy ass at home, man? All right? It says, Neither keepeth at home who enlarges his desires hell, and his death cannot be satisfied. He gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, so hey, this is the same people that sit out here and spread all these lies just to go up into these other nations. To well, let me read the next one. Verse 6: Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So another prime example. You know, you go back to the 9/11 situation when they went over there in Iraq, right? They blew up all the oil infrastructure and everything like that. You know, Bush was in office. Dick Cheney was the vice president and also the head of this company called, I believe it was Halliburton or KBR. But nevertheless, KBR and Halliburton was over there to rebuild all this here infrastructure, all right, and to run all these things. And now they're in control of all the resources, all right? Same thing they got going on, you know, nowadays. They're using this brainwashing tactic to demonize us, all right, just basically to put us out so they can go forward with their agenda to set up this here new world order, all right? But nevertheless, let's go into this here lesson of what they're trying to set up. Revelation 2:10, it says, Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried. And you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right, so look, man, we're going to wind up, I'll grab that next. We're going to wind up being hated, all right, because why? Not because of anything we're physically doing. All we're doing is reading the Bible, man, and telling you the truth about certain things, man. All right, if that's so offensive to you, turn off the video, man. Walk down the block, man. All right, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, you see those street performers on the side of the road playing music. If you don't like that, leave. You know what I'm saying? You hear a song on the radio you don't like they playing, turn the station, man. You know, but nevertheless, they got to make all these laws to put us into prison, not just put us into prison, but to basically torture us, man. Because, I mean, it's not like they're going to try to interrogate us and to get some kind of secret information off of us or whatever, whatnot, because we telling you our whole plan and we upload it on the internet, and it's not in no secret chat, and it's public, and everybody can see all these things, man. So what information are they trying to get out of us, man? I mean, you ain't got to torture us to get the information. We'll be more than happy to tell you the whole damn game plan, man. We love speaking about the scriptures and everything like that, man, and telling you your future and everything like that. But nevertheless, you know, Esau is putting these things out because why? Let me try to grab that real quick. I got these precepts coming to mind. I want to grab them beforehand. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, give me a second. There's another precept in here I wanted to grab. Nevertheless, I'll just quote that one and read this other one. But basically, it was going into that he was going to wear out the saints, all right? This is what his plan is to do, all right? But nevertheless, let me just read this other precept. It says, Daniel 7 and 21 and 22. It says, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them, all right, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given unto the saints of the Most High, and a time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Now, let me jump up. Verse 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. All right, so ultimately, you know, Esau's going to come down unto us having great wrath. All right, let me grab this other one real quick before I forget about it. In Matthew 24. All right. Matthew 24 and 9, it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right, so look, this is what we all lead into, because why? What are we out here speaking? We're not speaking our words, we're speaking the Most High's words and his plan, which his plan is against Esau, Edom. And Esau Edom is fighting against the plan of the Lord, against the Lord's will, man. All right, so look, they wind up hating us because while we're exposing their plan, all right, and we telling them that they going down, we prophesying against them or whatever, whatnot. So what? They're gonna want to try to cast us into prison, all right, and put us to death and things like that. All right. Let me go and close out with this, because this is where it's gonna all end up being. All right. This is where it's gonna all end up at. All right. Jeremiah chapter 30, start at verse 5. It says, "For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turn into paleness." All right. So look, there's going to be troubling times that's coming upon the earth. All right. Let me go back to Matthew 24. Read verse 21 and 22. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no nor shall ever be." And this is the same account that we're basically reading. "And except those days should be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." You know, because ultimately Esau's trying to chip everybody and exterminate everybody off and just have, you know, a small, his remnant, you know, his elites to live. You know, you see the Georgia Guidestones, 500 million people. All right, but ultimately he's trying to get rid of the elect of Israel, because 2/3 they ain't gonna make it anyway. The Most High gonna wind up getting rid of them. All right, but what? For the elect's sake, the Lord's gonna raise up that standard. All right. Going back to Jeremiah 30 and 5, it says, For thus saith Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now, see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turn to paleness. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right, because this is going into the elect, man. The Lord's going to wind up raising up a standard and delivering his elect, man. All right, when Esau is going to come in like a flood. All right, Esau think that, you know, he's going to just slay all the elect. You know, like we just read in the book of Daniel, you know, he's going to make war against the saints and prevail against them into the Ancient of Days, you know, when the Most High was sending Yahweh to deliver us up, man. All right, but look, don't fear none of those things. You know, some of us might get thrown into these prisons or whatever, whatnot, and tormented. Be thou faithful unto death, man. All right, be thou faithful and hold firm and hold strong, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying into the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing his truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.